Ready to join me as I troubleshoot this KTM 450 EXC? It's an 04, so this thing is pretty clean. The owner said that it used to run pretty well, but it sat for a while, and he tried cleaning the carb multiple times, changing some jets, and it just isn't running right. So he didn't want to deal with it. He wanted to ride it and not work on it, so he brought it to me. So let's try starting it first. It probably won't even start at this point because it's been sitting for so long. Gas, and the choke is left on. I've got an aftermarket kickstand, so it should be a lot stronger than the original. Give it 3 bursts with the accelerator pump. Yeah, it kicks over fine. I can smell fuel, and it smells very old. Hard to kick over. Ooh. Let's try turning the idle up. Idle screw is pretty stiff. Come on now. Hee-hoo. Let's try turning the choke off. See if that helps. Probably not. It shouldn't, unless it's flooded. Yeah, nothing. Alright, a few more kicks and we're done. Come on. 3 more. No. I'm done. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna pull this carb off, probably clean it again, just make sure all the jets, passages, everything is working on it. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. I just pulled the carb off of this KTM 450 and I already noticed a major problem. Can you tell what it is? Well, got the carb here, intake side, engine side. Here is the throttle slide plate, and if you look closely, there's a W and the hole on top, and then if you look at the shape of the bottom, this is upside down. That's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be an M, and it's not supposed to be a U shape like that. It's supposed to be, let's see if we can get some better lighting here. This is the intake side. That's what the shape should be at the bottom, like that. But if you look at this, the shape is opposite, so we need to flip that around. But we're still going to take this all apart, see what everything looks like, and rebuild it. I also noticed that it's got an O-ring here for the accelerator pump arm. It looks like they did the O-ring mod. I've never done it personally, but I believe it's to get more squirting power on the accelerator pump. Did I say fuel pump? I meant accelerator pump. Shoot more fuel in there so it doesn't bog. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave that on there or not. Maybe I'll clean it, rebuild it, and see how the accelerator pump works with it on still, as long as it doesn't fall apart, because it's getting kind of hard and cracking. Pulling this carb apart, and it's definitely signs of being dirty. Pilot jet, can't even see through it. Let's try and focus here. There, that's pretty gummed up from old gas. This will have to be cleaned out, possibly even drilled out before it's cleaned out because it's so clogged up, but we'll see. Kind of got this nice green film in the float bowl. And you can see the float bowl gasket. It's might be usable, but you can see the rubber is kind of turning into jelly a little bit. So if I put this back on, there's a chance that it may leak. Just this whole thing is coated with that green film. It's just nasty pump gas that breaks down when it's been sitting for months or years in this case. I'm trying to get this leak jet out of here, and normally this flat blade screwdriver can get that and the pilot jet, but it's stuck in there pretty well, and you can see there's just a little bit of wiggle on it. So I don't want to round that head off, so I'm gonna get a tip, a flat blade tip that's just a little bit bigger, so I can put more pressure on it to break it loose so I don't round that head off. There we go. That was much easier. There is that leak jet. You can see through it, so that should be fine, but we'll still throw it in the cleaner because it's got some nasty film on it. Size 85 it looks like. Even though my eyes are good, I have pretty much perfect vision still. I'm not old yet. It still helps to have a magnifying glass so you can read the numbers easily. So that looks to be an 85 on here. Oh, there we go. Here we go. We got the throttle slide out, and this is upside down. You can see the shape here does not match the shape on the intake side. So we need to flip this around when we put it back on. Want it to be an M, not a W, and this hole should be down. So see this shape? It matches the other side. Alright, just got the carb fully rebuilt, and we're gonna try and start it now. Don't need that yet. Gas is on. Turn the choke on. Woohoo! That is hard to kick over. Oh yeah, we got the manual decompression lever here. That sounds pretty good to me. What was that, 2 kicks? We'll go for a test ride. But before I go for a test ride, I filled up the coolant because that was low. It wasn't as low as I thought, although there may be some air in it, so I may need to add some more. But I want to make sure that there's no bubbles when I start it. And I say that because if there's bubbles while the engine's running, that means the head gasket is likely bad because the combustion pressure is leaking out from the cylinder and it's pushing into the cooling system, and that's causing the bubbles. So we'll start it up. I just put in a new battery. I am not seeing any bubbles, so that is a good sign. We will go for a test ride now. Wow, this thing is tall. Ooh, that was a hard shift into first. You know what? I forgot to check the oil. I want to check that before I go ride this thing hard. Oh, and I can see that I made a mistake of not hooking this hose back up to the carb. Not good. I need to figure out what this even is because I'm not used to seeing this hose on a Keihin FCR carb. You can let me know in the comments, but by the time I will see it, I'll probably have researched it to figure out what it was. Wow, that's tight. Thought it was a dipstick, but it's just a sight glass here. So you just tip the bike up so it's level, and you can see the oil right there. So we're good to go. Fires up nice and easy. Let's try this again. A little softer. Maybe the oil is old and sticky. Got that tall 6th gear. Geometry feels weird on this thing. Oh, you gotta find that neutral. Wow. There we go. Alright, let's adjust that idle. Nice ticky noise of this RFS engine. Got a little bit of a hanging idle here. Not sure if it's because the idle is too high or the fuel screw needs to be adjusted. Back the idle down just a little bit more. It's a little bit low. Let's turn it back up. That sounds good. Let's make sure the radiators are getting hot. Oh yeah, that's hot. Let's whack the throttle open. Chain sounds loose, but that's good throttle response. Let's do a quick woods test. 2nd gear. running out of gas here. It was sounding a little bit boggy there, so I'm like, uh-oh, do I need to dial in the fuel screw? No, I only put in like half a gallon, so pretty sure it's just running out of fuel. Don't like that. Gonna have to. Yeah, there still is something. Make an adjustment to this fuel screw. Oh wow, that's harder to turn than I anticipated. I'm gonna go back to the garage. Yeah, I don't like it. It's kind of blubbering. Alright, it sounds like a rich blubber right off of idle when you roll on. So two things I think it could be the fuel screw is too rich. Otherwise, it could be that O-ring mod for the accelerator pump. I'm going to try the fuel screw first, leaning that out and see what it does. Lean out the fuel screw. One full turn, should be at half a turn out. Let's see how it runs. Sounds pretty good. So on that last test ride, it felt almost perfect. I still feel maybe it's a little bit rich right off of bottom. It could be fuel screw, pilot jet circuit. It could be accelerator pump from that O-ring mod. And what that does is I believe it just puts more pressure on the accelerator pump arm, pushing it down harder to squirt out more fuel. I can't remember if it's more or longer, but that could be the problem. I left it in there, but since this is like the hottest, most humid day of the month and nearly 90 degrees, it's probably 70% humidity, I'm gonna leave it just because I know it's gonna get cooler and less humidity, so it's probably gonna run better as it gets cooler for the rest of the year. Then if it gets hot again and it starts to run a little bit rich, then I could have the owner try a different fuel screw setting or try taking out that O-ring and see if it runs better. Because I've tuned a lot of these FCR carbs the past couple years, and I've never used that O-ring mod, and they don't really need it as long as the accelerator pump is working properly. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to learn how to get your carburetor working properly on your dirt bike, whether it's a 2-stroke, 4-stroke, I got a complete step-by-step video program plus one-on-one coaching available. But if you want to get started for free, I got an air screw and fuel screw tuning guide that you can learn how to do in just a few minutes. Or if you live near Oak Grove, Minnesota and want me to tune your bike, you want to drop it off, there's links to these in the description below. I'm Kelley from MXHideout. Ride safe, have fun.